Hello, Stampin' Friends. This is Lisa at Live and Let Stamp. Welcome to this week's live. I'm going to be doing a card using this Artistic Leaves set from Stampin' Up. It is a standalone set. It doesn't come with dies, so it's a great set to use to just do a sip. Stamps, ink, paper. No die cutting needed, and you can see it makes just beautiful cards. So we're going to be making one like this today, but I did also want to show you how I used this stamp to make my own DSP, basically by just stamping different colors on the background and then doing the little dots. I love these little dots. They just really make the card, I don't know, it just kind of adds something, I think. So let's go ahead and get started. I did a lot of experimenting with different colors to make the leaves. I did green and gold. I did Cajun craze and orange. And I did gold and orange, and gold Cajun craze and orange, which I really liked. And that's the one that we're going to be making today. So because I made this was cherry cobbler and crushed curry. And because I made this, these stamps have gotten stained from the cherry cobbler. So all your reds are going to stain your stamps. And I need to do a little research to see if there's any way to kind of reduce this, because you really do need to be able to see through the stamps to do the top, like the cherry cobbler on top of the gold, and kind of get it lined up. Although even if it's off a little, it's still really pretty. This one's a little bit off, but it's still really pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. My card base is crushed curry, and I'm making just the standard A2 card. So I'm going to cut my cardstock in half. So it's going to be the 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to go ahead and score that at 4.25. And use my bone folder to go ahead and make that fold really nice. And that'll be our card base. Our matte color is going to be pumpkin pie. So let's take a piece of pumpkin pie. And this one, it's a little unusual, but I wanted it to be just very gradual steps into the center. So this one is 5 5/16. So that's a quarter plus another 16th by 4 1/16. So 16ths are very easy to do on the Stampin' Up! Cutter. They're right there. And then we're going to need our basic white. And we're going to need a couple of these because we need one for the inside. So the inside's going to be 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this to 5 1/4 by 4. And that's going to be for the inside piece. I'm just going to set that aside. And then the one we're going to stamp the leaves on is going to be 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And that is all of our cutting. So let's go ahead and stamp our leaves. These are photopolymer stamps, so I'm going to get my foam to stamp on. And I'm going to do the gold first. So that is the crushed curry. And this is a well-used stamp pad. I love making fall cards using fall colors. Okay. And I'm just gonna move, I'm gonna get it kind of close to the edge, and I'm gonna kind of tilt it to the left and stamp. And then I'm going to ink up my stamp again. And I'm gonna go over here, and now I'm looking on this side, making sure to keep that on the card. And this side's gonna dip under that side, like this. And that's our gold layer. Our top layer is gonna be with pumpkin pie. So I don't know if you noticed, but you know, if you have a lot of stamp pads open, sometimes you kind of get mixed up what color they are. And I never realized this until very recently, because they didn't always do it. But on this one, they gave you an extra strip on the back here. You get it in different languages to put on your end. But then you also, on newer stamp pads, and I haven't done this one yet, but it's a great one to show you. So you see I don't have anything here, but they gave me 2 pumpkin pies, so that I need to put in here. And then it's so nice just to be able to look and see what color you're using. So I need to do that. Okay, so this is the large one that puts the veins on. It is stained, so it makes it a little more difficult to see, but I'm gonna line up here and here. Those are the 2 places where if you get those 2 lined up, it seems to do really, really well. Until you're live, and then it won't. Hopefully it will. All right. Drum roll. Let's see how we did. Ooh, check that out. Not bad. And this one. Let's see if I can do 2 for 2 here. Whoa, check that out. Not bad at all. Now, while I'm stamping these leaves, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside. And to do that, I'm going to get my 5 1/4 by 4, and I've got some copy paper here because I'm going to stamp off. So inside the card, I decided I just wanted a leaf, but I wanted a lighter leaf. So I stamped off to make the shade a little bit lighter. So let me get my, this is the pumpkin pie, and the crushed curry is right here. So I'm gonna get that, gonna ink that up, stamp off, and then kind of just stamp a leaf going off the edge, like so. And I'm going to do the same with my pumpkin pie. Just making sure, because I don't have it marked. I'm going to stamp off. This one's a little bigger. And then I'm going to line it up again. Can we get the rare triple? And voila! So it's a little off, but I think it looks great, and that'll be for the inside of our card. So what we need to do now, we'll need the pumpkin pie to stamp our sentiment right down here at the bottom. So this set gives us 3 sentiments to choose from. Hello, sweet friend, which is the one I used on this card. Grateful for you, which which is the one I used for this one, and also Celebrate Today. So let's do a Celebrate Today. And we're going to do that in pumpkin pie. Pop that right on the bottom. Now the last little detail we want to add are these little dots. So we're going to do that in the gold. And I like the way the dots are arched, because the way I put them on, I kind of try to like arch them around the leaves. You know what, I need to put a piece of copy paper under here because I will be going off the page a bit on some of these. You know, they don't have to be perfect, kind of just random. Maybe we'll go ahead and put it all around, even around the bottom. There we go. I love that. Just add something. By the way, if you didn't get the dimensions for the pieces of the card, if you go to my blog, I have begun to keep up with my blog again. Yay! You can go there, and this card is on there, and it has all the measurements in the blog post, so you can find it there. So now we're ready to put the card together. So this is going to go on the pumpkin pie. I'm going to use my Tombow tape runner because it's quick and easy. And it's just a little bit of an edge. Not too big. You want the star of the show to be those leaves. And then we're going to put that on the card. You could always dress this up with some ribbon. I love embellishment dots. Make sure it's opening the right direction. You're not putting it on upside down. Been there, done that. And put that there. And let's go ahead and put the inside on the inside. Just kind of dresses up that inside a bit. And doing it light like this, if somebody really needed room, you could even write right over that and it would not make it difficult to read. So now all we need are the dots. So these are the Opal Rounds assortment, and it has Night of Navy, Daffodil Delight, and White. So Daffodil Delight is yellow, so it's nice to have these yellowish tinted dots to accent our card. So we're going to put one there. Let's do a small one over here and another large one down here, and then a small one up here. And I like odd numbers, so throwing another little small one here, because you need to balance the card. So you're heavy this side because of the sentiment, so you want to have more of your embellishments here to give the card a sense of balance. And that's it. That is it. Stamps, ink, paper, and embellishments. So instead of sip, I guess it's more like sipe. So I hope you enjoyed today's live. Again, you can go see this card on the blog to get the measurements of how to make them. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, I love comments. I love reading your comments and messages. So please let me know what you think of these cards. Have a great day.